Here is something nobody tells you when you are still working and counting down the days to retirement. The people who have already been there, the ones who are now in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, many of them carry quiet regrets. Not regrets about the big dramatic mistakes in life, but regrets about the small, avoidable decisions they made in those first critical years after they stopped working. And the remarkable thing is, when you sit down and talk to enough retirees, the same 5 regrets come up again and again. Today, we are going to go through every single one of them, so that you do not spend your retirement looking back and wishing you had done things differently. Let us start with the one that surprises almost everyone. The first and perhaps most unexpected regret that retirees share is that they saved too much and they did not spend early enough. Now, I know what you are thinking. How can saving too much possibly be a regret? We spend our entire working lives being told to save more, invest more, contribute more. But here is the reality that the financial planning world does not always talk about. Many people arrive in their early 80s and 90s with significantly more money sitting in their RSPs and REIFs than they will ever realistically spend. And that money, that carefully protected nest egg, becomes a tax burden for their estate rather than a source of joy in their own lives. The key insight here is something called the laddered income approach. The idea is straightforward but powerful. In the early years of retirement, from the moment you stop working through to around age 75, you are at your healthiest, your most mobile, and your most capable of truly enjoying your money. That is the window. That is when you should be spending more generously on the experiences, the trips, the dinners, the home renovations, and the gifts to family that you have always dreamed about. Because the hard truth is that as you move into your late 70s and beyond, your spending naturally decreases on its own. Your lifestyle scales back, not because you run out of money, but because your energy and your interests shift. The goal is to match your spending to your capacity to enjoy it, and that capacity is highest at the very beginning of retirement. So if your financial plan tells you that you can afford to retire today, do not let that money pile up untouched while your best years quietly slip by. Which brings us to the second regret, and it is deeply connected to the first one. Retirees very commonly wish they had stopped working sooner. There is a pattern that shows up over and over again. Someone reaches the point where, financially, they could walk away tomorrow. The numbers work. The plan is solid. But they stay anyway, for another year, then another, then another. And when you ask them why, the answers are almost always the same. They stayed out of fear. Fear that the money would not be enough, even when the math said otherwise. Or they stayed out of loyalty to a boss, to a team, to a company that they felt they could not leave behind. Here is what those same people say, years later. The company replaced them. Quietly, efficiently, and without much ceremony, the organization moved on. It always does. And the years they spent showing up out of obligation were years they could have been living on their own terms. Once your financial plan genuinely shows that you can afford to retire, the question stops being a financial one. It becomes a question about how you want to spend your healthy, active years. Those years are not unlimited. Treat them accordingly. Now, the third regret flows naturally from that idea of healthy, active years, and it is one of the most emotionally charged ones to hear retirees talk about. They wish they had traveled more, and they wish they had done it earlier. This one comes with a particular sting because the reason they did not travel is almost always that they thought they had more time. They told themselves they would get to it eventually. And then eventually arrived and brought with it a knee replacement, or a heart condition, or a travel insurance premium so high it made international trips effectively impossible. Health can decline in ways that are sudden and unexpected. The mobility and stamina that allow you to walk through European cities, climb aboard cruise ships, hike through national parks, or simply endure a long-haul flight, those things are not guaranteed forever. The window for bucket list travel is real, and it is finite. So the message from retirees who carry this particular regret is simple and urgent. Do not wait. Check those items off your list while your body is still fully cooperating. Give yourself the gift of those memories while you are young enough in retirement to fully absorb and enjoy them. The fourth regret is one that catches many new retirees completely off guard, because it is not about money or health at all. It is about identity and purpose. A very common mistake is retiring from something without retiring to something. For decades, your career gave your days structure. It gave you a community of colleagues, a sense of accomplishment, a reason to get up and get moving in the morning. And then, on a specific date, all of that stops. And if you have not thought carefully about what comes next, what fills that space, the silence can be disorienting, even depressing. Retirees who carry this regret describe a feeling of being lost in those early months and years. They did not have a new passion or a new vocation to step into. The solution, and the thing that the happiest retirees consistently point to, is finding a hobby or a pursuit that engages you on multiple levels, something physical, something social, something creative, or ideally some combination of all three. It does not need to be grand or expensive. It just needs to be genuinely yours. Something that makes you look forward to Tuesday morning the same way a fulfilling career once did. The retirees who figure this out early are the ones who describe their retirement as the best chapter of their lives. The ones who do not are the ones still searching years in. And that brings us to the fifth regret, and in many ways, it is the most important one of all. The regret that carries the heaviest weight when retirees look back is neglecting their physical health. It sounds almost too simple to be the biggest one, but the evidence from retirees themselves is overwhelming. When you stop working, the natural structure that kept you moving disappears. You are no longer commuting, walking to meetings, or managing the physical rhythms that a job quietly imposes on your day. And without that structure, it is very easy to become more sedentary, to sit more, snack more, and gradually let your body soften in ways that accelerate aging. The retirees who maintained their physical health, who kept moving, who watched what they ate, who stayed active, are the ones who extended what you might call their active retirement, those years where they were fully capable of doing everything they wanted to do. And travel, interestingly, turns out to be one of the best medicines here. Getting out into the world, getting sunlight, walking through new places, engaging with new environments, it keeps both the body and the mind genuinely alive in ways that staying home simply cannot replicate. So here is the thread that runs through all 5 of these regrets. Every single one of them comes down to the same core lesson: do not defer your life. Do not assume you have more time than you do. Spend while you can enjoy it. Leave work when the numbers tell you that you can. Travel while your body will carry you there. Find your purpose before you need it. And take care of your health so that all of those other things remain possible. The retirees who are sharing these regrets are not failures. They are generous people giving you the one thing they cannot give themselves, a second chance to get it right. And now, having heard them, you have something they did not. You have the chance to plan ahead, to go in with your eyes open, and to build a retirement that you will look back on not with regret, but with deep and genuine satisfaction. If this resonated with you, make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss what is coming next. And if there is a regret you have heard from someone in your own life, a parent, a friend, a colleague, drop it in the comments below. These conversations matter, and the more we have them, the better prepared we all become.